And Mike Shanahan's decision here in Denver to start that man, John Elway, with still another game next week in the playoffs ahead. This is as important as it gets. Mike Shanahan says we've got to get our winning momentum back. Brown for Gary Zimmerman, who won't play till next week. Schlereth, Nalen, Habib, and Thompson, the front five. Elway goes to the Pro Bowl as the starter. Terrell Davis the same as the league's leading rusher. Craver the fullback. Miller and McCaffrey outside, and Shannon Sharp to the Pro Bowl with his 79 catches, 10 touchdowns. McCaffrey in motion. Elway comes out throwing. Guns it incomplete. Terry McDaniel on the coverage of Anthony Miller. The defense for the silver and black, and they have played well all season long. A front four of rookie Lance Johnstone from Temple. Maryland. McLaughlin goes to the Pro Bowl. Pat Swilling, the pass rusher. The linebackers, Mike Morton and Mike Jones on the outside. Greg Biekert from the University of Colorado in the middle. McDaniel and Lewis at the corners, and Lewis has played sensationally the last two games. Lynch and Carrington at safety. Incomplete to McCaffrey this time. Check that. Miller again on the quick cut, and it's 3rd and 10 for Denver.
Well, we've seen Elway throw twice. I'm going to tell you, in order for Denver to win this football game, even though Elway's back, they have to run the football.
Well, that always helps their offense. On defense today, the Raiders, they talk about the one thing that's hurt them against Denver, letting John Elway move around the pocket, the front four, show some discipline, stay in your rush lanes, make Elway beat you from staying in the pocket.
Denver goes to the shotgun, 4 wide receivers, and Shannon Sharp, the tight end. Sharp on the left side with 3 wide receivers. Incomplete, or did he pull it in? Incomplete it is. Rod Smith could not quite haul it in as he hit the turf, and the Raiders on 3 straight incomplete tosses by Elway. We'll see the punt team come on.
5 wide receivers in the game has given the Oakland Raiders a lot of troubles in the past. They blitz it. The receiver is open. Rod Smith just can't make the catch.
So Tom Ruin in to punt, averaging 41.7. Tim Brown, who has returned more punts than anyone in NFL history, waits for this high one to come down. Looking up into the sun. Fair catch at the 35-yard line. Jeff Hostetler, Bill Sims' former teammate with the Giants, has had a career season, 22 touchdowns, more than he has ever thrown in a season. And he has this offensive line restructured with the sickness of starting center Barrett Robbins, so Dan Turk will start. He's seen many games as a starter. Harlow, Wisniewski, Gogan, and Kennedy, and a giant offensive line. Kaufman, what a year he's having. Fenner. Brown goes to the Pro Bowl. Jet, the other white out, and Ohio State rookie at tight end is Ricky Dudley. The toss to Kaufman. And the little man from Lompoc, California, and the University of Washington gains about 3. Ray Crockett at the corner makes the tackle. And here are the men in orange defensively for Mike Shanahan. Williams on his 27th birthday. Lodish, Michael Dean Perry, and Alfred Williams go to the Pro Bowl. Mobley, the rookie from Cookstown, with Aldridge and Romanowski. Crockett and Washington, the veterans at the corners. Tyrone Braxton, 8 interceptions this year, no Pro Bowl. Steve Atwater makes it for the 7th straight year. Second and 5, take by Hostetler in the roll. Fires downfield, intercepted by Tyrone Braxton. He's done it again. He said, I've got something to prove. They don't want me to go to the Pro Bowl, and I've led the league in interceptions. That's number 9.
The last thing I said to Tyrone Braxton yesterday, I said, you're not going to the Pro Bowl, but we're not going to put you on camera unless you intercept 2 passes. He said, that's okay by me. Here's the first one.
Well, he deserves to go to the Pro Bowl, but he does a wonderful job of watching the quarterback, adjusting, makes the interception.
From the Red Rocks west of Denver to Tyrone Braxton with his 9th interception of the season. That's only one. He said he wants more. He was wounded by the fact that they overlooked him to the Pro Bowl. First down at the 31-yard line. First running play, Terrell Davis. Out to the 36-yard line. A gain of 5 before McDaniel can make the tackle. Let's go back to that interception.
But watch Tyrone Braxton, number 34. He's going to cover Tim Brown. across the field, but he sees Jeff Hostetler looking deep. He comes off his man, and look at the adjustment, goes all the way back, and then makes an excellent catch for the interception. And Dick, he should be wounded. This guy deserves to be in the Pro Bowl, and the reason he's not going is the players didn't vote him in. That's the reason.
At 32, reputation, long shot all of his life, football life. Tyrone Braxton. Oh, yeah, 2nd and 4. The first down as he hits the tight end, Byron Chamberlain. Chamberlain's 5th catch of the year. First down near midfield. Biekert and Lynch make the tackle.
One thing you don't want to do is try to cover Chamberlain with a linebacker, and that's what the Raiders are trying to do.
Well, they had the safety on him that time, Paul, and what the Broncos did, put 2 wide receivers to the right, 2 tight ends to the left. They like this matchup. Safeties on their tight ends because their tight ends can run and get open.
Chamberlain from Wayne State, Nebraska. Of course, very seldom gets the call. It was Shannon Sharp on the same offensive line. Davis patiently picking his hole and burrowing to the Raider 42. The Broncos with 7 Pro Bowlers, 6 starters, more than anyone in the league, and you see the red stars for the starters. Michael Dean Perry, 3rd defensive lineman picked. Alfred Williams and Terrell Davis go for the first time, but no Tyrone Braxton. 2nd down, 1. Davis to the 41. That'll be close to a first down.
You know, the one thing when we've been watching Terrell Davis all this year and watch him run, the play before this when he ran for about 8 yards, he just waited for the offensive line. There is a guy that has all the confidence in the world in his offensive line, knowing that they're smaller than the Raiders, but yet they know if they stay with their blocks long enough and he sets it up, he's going to be able to make 8 and 9 yards a carry.
Well, I think we heard it from Mark Schlereth, one of the guards yesterday. He explained it clear to us that he's under orders. When he gets that ball, Alex Gibbs, Mike Shanahan, they all tell him you have the ability to make 1 cut, then you get it up the field, and that's one of the reasons why they run so well inside, and he very seldom gets tackled for a loss.
Inches short of the first down, brings up 3rd. In other words, you don't do the double cut. Don't get fancy back there. You see, they'll make your 1 cut and go.
That's right. As we would heard, wear your football cleats. Don't get on those high heels and be dancing back there. Make a decision. Get up in that line.
You know, this is one of those situations. You've got the Denver Broncos 3rd and about 2 inches to go, and with a guy like Elway, I mean, you just don't know what he's going to do.
Davis, the lone running back on 3rd, and now they send him way out here to the bottom of your screen. No one behind Elway, who he often uses the quarterback draw here. Just sneak it across, and he's to the 39 in the first down.
You know, you got to love the formation because what he does on his quarterback sneak, but the Raiders really didn't fall for it. They put some linebackers out. They still had about 7 guys inside. But when you look at what Elway does, you spread out the field is what they want to do. There's still 7 guys in there.
You're right. Look at all the Raiders up in the line of scrimmage, but what that does, that's just 3rd and a couple inches. You are single covering everybody outside. Denver saw that, so when they get in that situation again, it wouldn't surprise me if they went deep. Some good matchups outside.
Gary Kubiak, the offensive coordinator, who came into the league as a player in '83, the same year as John Elway. Chamberlain again. So the surprise receiver and the strategy of Mike Shanahan is tight end Byron Chamberlain. 2 big catches, that one for 15.
And the reason why, Dick, they line up 2 tight ends to the same side, and it really creates some problems for the Oakland Raiders. Byron Chamberlain outside against a strong safety, comes inside. It's just an area a safety is not used to covering. So it really puts the defense at a disadvantage, and John Elway does a good job delivering it into the chest of the receiver.
First serious drive of the game. First down to the 24. And short yardage for Aaron Craver on his first carry. Greg Biekert with a tackle.
You know, there's one thing about Elway when you talk to players. Now, Chester McLaughlin really said it to us the best. He said, this guy scares you. He alters the route for defensive linemen to Elway. I mean, he makes you think, well, he can run with the ball. He's going to step up and throw it, and he's the most dangerous when he does that.
Chester McLaughlin said there's no one with a voice like Elway's. He gives the best hunt in the league. Shotgun, second and long. Open in the flat is Anthony Miller. And the speedster is inside the 10. First and goal.
You know, the thing about this play, he's thrown like 4 or 5 passes to the right-hand side. Look at where the sun is. Anthony Miller is looking directly into the sun, and they're throwing that way.
Well, Terry McDaniel definitely looking for an inside route that time. He gets fooled when Anthony Miller broke out. Was not there for the coverage.
Another 15-yard play for Elway. As you look at Miller, 4 straight 1,000-yard seasons, won't get it this year. Officially on the 7-yard line, first and goal. Elway inside to McCaffrey. Gain of about 4. Beaker and Lynch collaborate on the tackle.
The one thing you have to, I mean, I know how you admire Elway as a quarterback and all the things he does, but he does move the ball around. I mean, he throws it to everybody.
Well, he does what a quarterback's supposed to do, Paul. Throw it to the open guy. You know, he likes the guy that's open, and that's what he should do. And that says a lot about Mike Shanahan and the offense he runs. Does a good job of spreading the ball around.
Started slowly, Phil, but the last 9 games, 20 touchdowns, 7 picks. 10th play of the drive. Davis. Touchdown. TD. TD with a payoff after TB. Tyrone Braxton made the interception at the Denver 31. 69-yard drive engineered by Elway.
And that was the classic example, Dick, of the one cut. He made one move, and that was to his right and into the end zone.
His 12th rushing touchdown of the year. Jason Elam with the extra point. And the Denver Broncos here in the first quarter have the first point. 7-0 on a 3-yard run by Terrell Davis.
Hole. Thompson, Broderick Thompson, number 76. Boom in the hole. Terrell Davis behind him, touchdown.
7-0 Denver, and Elam kicks it off. Carl Kidd and Napoleon Kaufman deep. Kidd takes it out. Whoa! Is he toppled at the 16-yard line. Does a good job of hanging on to the football. Darius Johnson with a hit.
Watch Jamie Brown, number 7, on Chester McLaughlin. The last couple weeks, nobody has blocked Chester. Good job by a rookie tackle, pushing him out and creating a hole for Terrell Davis.
That was a classic one cut. That's what you're talking about, Terrell.
But for Chester, he is under the weather today, and then he maybe not be feeling well because all the last 2 weeks, nobody has been able to block him.
He one of the many Raiders suffering from the flu.
Raiders had too many men on the field.
Hoffman in motion. Hostetler, they pick up the blitz. Incomplete to Dudley. Bill Romanowski and Alan Aldridge. It was Aldridge who batted the ball away, the middle backer.
You know, I'm starting to really feel sorry for this kid. He's fighting the ball so much, Phil.
Well, right here, they said they wanted to go to him early in this game. He does a double move, gets away from Alan Aldridge. Hostetler makes a perfect throw. Watch Ricky Dudley's hands. They're always tense when he goes for the football. Does not make the adjustment to it.
He had to turn his body around, and he didn't turn back to the ball.
He had 4 catches and 4 drops last week against Kansas City, the Monday night game. Kaufman eludes Lionel Washington, and look at him streak down the sidelines, and finally Tyrone Braxton knocks him out of bounds at the 48. Napoleon Kaufman, averaging 6.1 a carry this year, gets 31 on that run.
Well, this is how the Raiders get big plays on offense. They give it to Napoleon Kaufman. He does a wonderful job of waiting. He's taking it to his right. There's nothing there. Then he has the speed to get away from Lionel Washington. And Steve Atwater does an excellent job of staying back and making him commit so he can get some help with pursuit.
That's an amazing average on the season. Even the great Jim Brown only averaged 5.2 in his career. Harvey Williams gives Kaufman a breather. And it's Williams off the left side to the 47 of Denver, a pickup of 5.
Well, we talked about the Denver Broncos have to run the football to be successful, and they ran the ball pretty well going down the field. But this is the same thing with the Raiders. The Raiders, in order to win this football game, must run the ball.
Well, Paul, they're not making many big passing plays with their offense. They're doing it with their running game. And Denver's defense today, they even said, we got to get our safeties up in there because this Raider line is big. They've been handling people, and we got to take some chances to stop the running game.
Spotted the ball at the 46, 2nd and 4. Hostetler, good protection, guns it down the middle, complete to Tim Brown. First down at the 31 as Brown has his 79th catch of the year, 16 yards.
You know, I don't know that the Denver Broncos are going to be able to get to Jeff Hostetler with just a 4-man rush. I think they're going to have to blitz some people.
They've been pass blocking very well, but look at Tim Brown in the middle of the field. A good job of the crossing patterns. They covered that, so if you cover the underneath patterns, look behind them. Tim Brown was wide open.
He needs only 2 more yards today to reach 1,000 receiving for his 4th consecutive year. Oh, there's a hold as Steve Atwater came in on the blitz and was all but tackled. Pat Harlow trying to save the sack for the Raiders.
I know. Pat Harlow, I'm going to tell you something. Pat Harlow does the right thing because you would have lost Hostetler. Steve Atwater had a full shot at Hostetler from the backside, and Pat Harlow just grabs him and throws him to the ground.
Number 75 on the offense. 10-yard penalty.
Watch, he pulls him to the ground. He saves Jeff Hostetler.
Ball marked back to the 40-yard line. The 37th holding penalty against the Raiders this year. Leads the NFL. The Raiders lead in penalties. Hoffman back in on first down 20. Hoffman. Nothing there that time as Michael Dean Perry. And a flag goes down.
Yeah, Romanowski's down.
As they remark the ball at the 35.
Now, the one thing about watching Napoleon Kaufman run, now the last time they ran the ball when they stuffed him is that they come up the middle straight, but you've got to get people to the outside. You can't let him bounce. If he bounces to the outside, he's gone.
It's really like playing Barry Sanders. You got to surround him because if you think one person's going to tackle him head on, it ain't going to happen.
He loved Tony Dorsett and Walter Payton as a kid, but they likened him to really Dave Meggett in current terms. The pitch. And he's strong, fast and strong to the 30, a gain of at least 5 before Ray Crockett can spill him.
You know, Phil, every time you hear somebody talk about this guy, they say, well, they only want him to carry the ball 15 to 20 times a ball game because he's not that durable. Well, yes, he is.
Watch Steve Wisniewski, number 76, comes out there. Good job of the Denver corner getting underneath before he gets flattened by the big guard. But you're right, Paul. People want to, the coaches are worried about him carrying it too much, getting hurt. They try to limit his carries to about 15 a game if they could.
But he has produced, despite a limited number of carries. And San Diego and Seattle and Kansas City form a club that admire his young talent. Hostetler guns the ball complete to Darrell Hobbs, and he has a first down at the Denver 20-yard line with 4.5 remaining in this first quarter, and the Raiders trying to tie it up.
One other thing about Napoleon Kaufman, and we asked him yesterday, what is the ideal game for you? He said, the ideal game for me is carrying the ball about 15 times, catching maybe 5 passes, and run back 3 kickoff returns.
What does he say? He and Harvey Williams actually make eye contact, and they decide when to go in and come out.
Well, what we all found surprising, they decide when they want to come in out, when to substitute, and they just have a feel and they go with it, and they both seem very happy with the substitutions, and hey, the coaches don't complain either.
They line up strong. Ricky Dudley on the right side, looking for Tim Brown, and he was well covered by Ray Crockett. Crockett, the veteran from Baylor, in his 8th year.
That time they put Andrew Glover, number 87, in the backfield along with Derek Finner, and they end up with 2 tight ends in the ball game.
Jumpy Geathers, number 79, comes into the defensive lineup for the Denver Broncos. Always fun to watch. That forklift move of his.
Yeah, but what did he tell us yesterday? He says, can't use that today because these linemen are too big. I can't pick them up.
Maybe a yard on the play. Steve Atwater from his safety spot with Geathers.
And you talk about a big offensive line. Look at the size of the Raiders' front five. 313 pounds they average, and Denver's defense only 280.
33 pounds per man for Oakland, and Denver, their offensive line smaller, but they've got about an 18-pound push.
In the pros, though, they like to lie about their weights a lot, and I think this Raider offensive line is a lot bigger than that. Some of these guys are going about 340, and they claim to be 310.
Third down, the first third down for Hostetler in this quarter, and he can't find his man, Hobbs, as he was pressured. Romanowski and Atwater on the blitz.
Well, Denver loves the blitz on third down. Once the blitzers come, Jeff Hostetler reads it. He tries to get rid of the ball quickly. Throws it sidearm. Not a good throw.
Cole Ford comes in for the field goal try. He's 18 for 25. His longest this year is 47. And this one will be from the 27 or 28. Now a 38-yard attempt officially. New punter, Leo Aragus holds, and Ford knocks it through. So experience the NFL all week long on NFL.com, the official website of the National Football League. Tackles, touchdowns, live game day scoreboard. Click on NFL.com. Cole Ford, who has just kicked a 38-yard field goal to make it 7-3, sends it to Vaughn Hebron at the 6. Hebron banged down hard at the 20-yard line. Flag is down. 4 wides. Throws it down the field for Hebron, and he's interfered with. Number 54, Beekert, tackled him as he was beaten deep. And there's another flag in the secondary of the Raiders at the 45.
Does Elway know who to pick on? He sees Beekert on Hebron, so he throws where the linebacker is. Don't you love it?
Well, that's why the Denver Broncos got in that formation, Paul, to see if they'd match up that way. And once they did,
interference and illegal, Chuck, are the calls. They'll take the interference.
Number 29 on the defense. That penalty is declined. Pass interference on the defense. That's the first down.
We were talking, you and I, to Al Davis before this game, and he was talking about this West Coast, so-called West Coast offense. We'll get to it in a second.
Well, it's a little different. John Elway in the shotgun. He sees Vaughn Hebron matched up with Greg Beekert on the outside with no help. He is going to throw that ball long every time. And there's not much Beekert can do except run over the receiver.
27-yard penalty to the 37. To the 35-yard line. 7-3 here in Denver. Let's go to New York for an update. More interesting teams the last couple of years in the NFL, and the injured player is Mark Schlereth, or is it Dwayne Carswell, 69 and 89. We saw the 9. Let's be certain. His answer was, I can't think of any other way to have a good time.
Well, what a living, Dick. He makes a good living, a lot of money. It can do a lot of good things for his kid. He loves it, and, you know, he'll pay for it down the road someday, but he considers it an even trade-off.
Flags fly as Rod Smith is interfered with as Elway tried to find him. Carl Kidd, interference and a first down to Denver.
Well, Carl Kidd has been picked on the last couple weeks.
Pass interference. Number 46 on the defense. That's the first down.
And you have to think John Elway knows Rod Smith, Carl Kidd one-on-one. He's looking all the way. And that left hand, he grabbed the receiver. The referee will see that every single time and throw a flag on it.
You know, John Elway came out in the first series of downs and threw 3 passes, and none of them were even close. I mean, he was throwing to his right, and they were all down and away. But since then, everything he's thrown has been on target.
That can happen early in the game for a quarterback. He wanted to be a little careful. They weren't wide open, so he threw the safe passes, and now he feels comfortable, in rhythm, let it go.
Down. Oh, what a hit. As Mike Morton gets Shannon Sharp, and Sharp is okay. Wow, that was a yard sale tackle.
You know what happens on a play like this? You see how Sharp gets up right away? He's embarrassed more than anything else because his helmet came off.
Well, listen to this hit.
Hello. Now, see, he's a little embarrassed, so he gets up. You know, he wants to get his helmet back on and back in the game.
2-yard gain.
What a hit.
2nd and 8, and Elway uses a timeout. Elway goes deep to Smith. Did he hang on? No. Yes, they're going to say he did have control. 1st and goal at the 1.
Well, again, you have Ryan Smith single covered by Carl Kidd. Nobody helping deep. Elway right away knows he's going deep with the football. It's the perfect throw to the outside. And Rod Smith gets possession, both feet down before the ball is stripped.
Good call. He definitely had control, and not only one foot, but both.
Now that's the perfect pass. Did you see that ball coming in there? I mean, Kidd has no chance at all in this ball. He's already beaten.
Rod Smith, the man who caught the 49-yard touchdown pass that won it for Denver and Oakland 22-21 a month ago, and another timeout spent by Elway. Let's go down to Jim Gray.
All right, Dick, Mark Schlereth has a twisted right knee. He told trainer Steve Antonopoulos, nothing popped, nothing's loose. They probably will not have him return today, but the good news is they don't feel that this is a major problem. Dick?
Well, Dick, we just watched Shannon Sharp go into the locker room, so they probably, I mean, his mouth was bleeding.
Yeah, they want to be certain that it isn't serious, and that'll remind you that tonight after football, it's Dateline. Your holiday shopping, and you were just overcharged. 1st and goal, Aaron Craver. No signal yet.
What'd you buy me?
Nothing.
Okay.
I went looking. I kind of looked. They're all looking for Terrell Davis to carry the ball, and Elway just turns and gives it to Craver. Chester McLaughlin's in there.
And the fans cheer down at the southern end because they're going to get to see it up close. 2nd and goal from the 1-foot line. End of a quarter. Look at 2nd and goal from the 1-foot line. Elway was flagged down.
Well, the one thing that John Elway told us yesterday, Phil, was that we've got, I mean, he was really stern about it. He came in and he says, we've got to get on track. We got to get this offense moving. You can see they're all across the neutral zone, and they make the call on the play, and Elway gets a touchdown. But John was very serious about it. He says, we've got to get this team back. We were humiliated in Green Bay, and here's the touchdown with Elway. I mean, that offensive line just drove them off the line of scrimmage.
Well, they didn't have to drive them too far. They were only about an inch away, but the Raiders, they just lined up off sides, trying to crowd the line of scrimmage.
It's still bleeding, and they hope that he will be able to return here shortly. Dick?
All right, 2nd and goal. Will Elway try again? To Aaron Craver, and Craver does not penetrate that goal line. So good defense by the Raiders to bring up 3rd and goal.
Say, the guy in there is Albert Lewis, number 29. Watch, he'll fill inside.
Well, look, when it gets that close to the goal line, the defense, you just tell everybody, stop the run. If they call a pass play, it's a touchdown, but let's try to stop the run. Everybody committed inside. There's really nowhere for the runner to go to.
I got McLaughlin and Russell Maryland and Jerry Ball, some heavy beef right up the middle. Craver again, and he doesn't get it on the first try, still battling, and it's a touchdown, Denver. Raiders argue they had him stopped momentarily, but Craver continued to drive.
The reason they don't blow the whistle, Dick, is because the pile is moving. As long as that pile is moving forward, they're not going to call it. But the thing about it is we see Craver on about the 1-yard line.
Well, it's a good job of the Raiders. Look at them. They're in the backfield. The Broncos did not move him. You can't even see the runner, so how can you blow it dead? His feet are still moving. Nolan Harrison had a hold of him, but Aaron Craver makes it into the end zone.
No, he didn't. He didn't make it.
We didn't see the end of it.
Here's an extra point by Elam. And it's 14-3 Denver on a controversial touchdown if you're a Raider fan.
Well, Aaron Craver, he's in there. Nolan Harrison has a hold of him.
Yeah, but look where the goal line is.
I know, but wait, the play's not over.
He's still trying. Now
he's over. Now what do you say?
Touchdown.
Touchdown.
Wouldn't have made any difference what I said. It was a touchdown.
But it's nice that you agree. Aaron Craver was one of the toughest 1-foot runs for a touchdown of the season, and the Broncos lead at 14-3. Elam's kickoff. Carl Kidd and dangerous Napoleon Kaufman. It's Kaufman. Kaufman buried under a sea of orange jerseys at the 26. Another Raider penalty.
Surprise, surprise.
4 o'clock next Saturday after the New England Giants game. Hostetler lobs it into the flat for Fenner, incomplete. And that takes us up to this update as we go to Greg Gumbel in New York. For their position in the playoffs, the Denver Broncos with their early lock on home field advantage, and it impacted their emotions. Mike Shanahan said some of my players just didn't play very well against Green Bay, and of course without Elway and seemingly no emotional push against a very, very good team in the Packers, they just were disappointed.
Well, not that they didn't play well. He said they didn't play hard, and I think that's the thing that always disappoints coaches in this league. When their guys don't go out there and give a great effort, I mean, it really hurts them because that's what they expect from them every week.
After the penalty, back to the 15, the Raiders, 2nd and 10. Kaufman tackled, no gain.
You know, the one thing, let's just go back to last week's game for a second. The one thing that we heard when we got here, and it's very surprising to me, you hear Mike Shanahan, the coach, we heard John Elway, and a couple of the other players, Schlereth being one of them, saying, hey, we had a bunch of guys that didn't even show up in Green Bay. I mean, to me, it's kind of unusual to hear a team say that about their players.
Well, especially when that team is 12-1.
Yeah.
And the reason why they've been winning is all those good things they bring to each game, the effort, you know, the concentration. But, you know, I think there was some celebration, some good feelings, clinching home field. It was natural to have a letdown, and it happened to them against a good football team.
Ray Crockett's tackle of Kaufman for a yard loss, and now Hostetler down the middle. Incomplete, and is it intercepted? Yes. At the 35-yard line, Steve Atwater there for the carom. His 3rd of the year.
Well, it's a blitz by the Denver Broncos. There's man coverage down the field. Jeff Hostetler does a good job of finding Darryl Hobbs. You can see the blitz. Bill Romanowski, number 53, coming. Good job of the Raiders picking it up. Hostetler has plenty of time. Now watch Darryl Hobbs coming across the middle. Lionel Washington not with him. The ball goes off his fingertips, and that has plagued the Raiders greatly the last few weeks, dropping passes.
That's the fault of the receiver and not of Hostetler. That ball was right on target.
First down at the 35 of Oakland, and Terrell Davis has 4, has 5, has a 6-yard gain before Jerry Ball from behind can write him down.
Well, Steve Atwater, you talk about a great player. He is a Pro Bowl player. But when you look at this pass, look at it. It's right off the fingertips of Hobbs. He should go up and get the ball, and Atwater's there to make the play.
That'll please Steve Atwater's 2 young sons. You saw Steve talking about them in our NFL on NBC pregame show. Atwater out of the University of Arkansas. What a player he has
Always sees the blitzes checking off.
2nd and 4. Underneath to Dwayne Carswell, and Carswell has enough for a first down at the 23. Greg Biekert, the tackler. Well, the Denver Broncos with a 14-3 lead and the turnover, and that's one area where the Raiders have been so vastly improved since a 1-4 start. They were a -11 in the turnover table. They've been a +12 since, and well could have won every game. They lost 3, 2 in overtime, and won by 1 point to Denver. First down, Terrell Davis trapped in the backfield by Andre Bruce.
Let me show you what John Elway was checking off to a minute ago, Paul and Dick. He sees it's going to be a blitz. Watch the tackle. Here's the guy covering the tight end. Watch the tackle come out and block the linebacker. The tight end comes underneath. Nobody there to cover. So he knows when they're going to blitz, it's man coverage. Had the tackle block the guy that's covering the tight end.
You know what else is interesting is 11 minutes to go in the 2nd quarter, and he's already thrown to 6 different receivers.
6 comes out in the shotgun here after the loss by Davis of 3 on first down. 4 wide. Rips this one to Mike Sherrard. No catch. No catch. Rolled a trap.
The one thing I don't like about this play a whole lot, when you're throwing slant patterns against Terry McDaniel, number 36, he's the corner that stays outside and looks in at the quarterback. Look at the angle. And if that ball is up, If that ball was thrown up into the receiver, Terry McDaniel is going to make the interception. Look at him. He sees Elway. As soon as he sees him make a move to throw, he drives in front of the receiver.
3rd down 13. That snaps 7 straight completions by Elway. Whoops. Jerry Ball flags down. This is a free play for Elway. Fumbles the ball. Gets away from the ball. Still a live play. Elway throws it in the end zone for a jump ball incomplete. Lorenzo Lynch knocked it away from Anthony Miller.
See, I'm going to tell you one thing. This play makes me mad because Jerry Ball gets a free shot at Elway. They should have blown the whistle, unimpeded to the quarterback. He's going after the quarterback. He's offside, Phil, and you got to blow the whistle.
I think that they made the right decision. Bernie Kukar says he's getting away from him. Watch it, Paul. But here he comes. He's free. Elway's running. That's why he let it go.
But the thing about it is when Jerry Ball touches an offensive player, as soon as he crosses the line of scrimmage, the play is blown dead now. You can't touch. A defensive man can't come across the line and touch someone without the play being blown dead.
But there's another Phillip in that whole scenario. How about the strength of John Elway? He's got Jerry Ball at, what, 325, 330, hitting him, and he still was able to continue the play.
That's a good point. You're right, Paul, though. If you get a chance. If he touches the lineman, he does not have a chance to go back and get on top.
3rd down 8. A bullet. 1st down and more. Touchdown, Rod Smith. Wow. 20 yards on the throw and run to Rod Smith, who has his 2nd touchdown of the year, both against the Raiders.
Well, you're actually seeing now why this team is 12-2, Phil. I mean, you don't do it. You're not lucky when you become 12-2. You get a little bit of luck, but you're very good.
Snap, but a good job on the hold by Rowan and Elam. Interceptions by the Broncos. Braxton and Atwater have led to 2 touchdowns and a 21-3 lead with 10.5 remaining in this first half at Mile High. Elam. The Carl Kidd doesn't have to take it out, but does, and pays the price at the 15-yard line as Glenn Cadrez leads the charge defensively. Boy, Elway, look at him full speed on this touchdown pass.
Full speed, quick decision, knows where he's going with the football. This says everything about this offense, and watch it. Oh, sticks to you. Rod Smith, big, physical, able to do something with it after he makes the catch.
You mentioned something to Mike White yesterday about Carl Kidd. You said, don't you think they're picking on him? He said, no, I don't really think they're picking on Carl Kidd. Yes, they are.
Yes, they are. He didn't think maybe teams that Carl Kidd was maybe just unfortunate, but this is part of the game plan. The Broncos are definitely going at number 46.
Now the Raiders need something big, and they get a good run from Williams, who breaks into the clear. 40, 50, cuts back and fumbles, and the Broncos don't recover. Or do they? Did it go out of bounds? No. Denver has it at the 36-yard line. Bill Romanowski.
You know, I'll tell you something about this play. Now, Harvey Williams, I mean, you look at Harvey going down with the play. He should go out of bounds. Take what they give you and then don't come back in. What he does on this play, I mean, it's a great run.
A good job, and watch number 48, Lionel Washington comes in, gets caught inside, and that enables Harvey Williams to break outside, switches the ball. Good job. He sees it. He wants to cut across, make the big play. But
Tyrone Braxton reaches in, knocks the ball.
Tyrone Braxton. In this league, they're always chasing you from behind. You have to be alert for that.
So Braxton and Romanowski, 2 who did not make the Pro Bowl, collaborate on another big play for Denver. Thus far.
Turnovers and penalties killing them today, and the Denver Broncos, Tyrone Braxton and Bill Romanowski making the plays.
Terrell Davis shoots into the secondary. Good solid hit by number 50, Mike Morton, but not until Davis had 9 yards.
You know, you don't beat the Denver Broncos in Denver very often, and the other thing about it is when you start beating yourself in the process, that's what really hurts, and they're making a lot of mistakes, the Raiders. But watch Terrell. Here's your one cut. There's your one cut, and the great blocks downfield. But you're right, Phil. You're only allowed 1. Make the cut, get upfield, pick up the yardage.
3 turnovers, 2 interceptions, and that fumble by Williams. 14 points already for Denver off turnovers, and a rash of penalties to go with the flu-stricken Raiders. Davis perched through a little hole, enough for a first down at the 47.5, 48-yard line. How can one man make such a huge difference? Can you believe this is the team we saw in Green Bay a week ago?
Well, you know, now look, we've got to remember he's coming back. They got beat bad last week, so it's made a lot of these players pay attention in practice this week. And Mike Shanahan told us the practice, the intensity was great. He thought they would play well, but even Coach Shanahan said the play calling changes dramatically when John Elway is your quarterback. Last week they took no chances. Today they do everything.
Raiders need a break. Down 21-3, and it's Davis wrapped up by McLaughlin. Chester McLaughlin, who answers his Pro Bowl call for the 3rd straight year, and many regard as the best interior defensive lineman in the league.
Well, I don't think you're going to get any question from anybody.
Yeah, we're not going to argue.
Chester.
Boy, Chester got a little tight with me yesterday. I said, Chester, now, you know, officially, what do you weigh? And he says, well, it doesn't matter. And he says, the coaches are happy. And he went on and on. I said, well, okay.
I said to Chester, he said, I made my weight. I said, is it between 300 and 360? He says, that's good.
That's good.
You're right again. Oh, another flag. Elway. Down the field, intercepted by Darren Carrington, but will it count for the Raiders, who apparently were offside? Carrington half-heartedly now picks up the steam and finally is out of bounds in Denver territory at about the 33-yard line.
Well, Chester McLaughlin talks about John Elway's got one of the greatest parks there is.
Flag goes down.
Well, if you touch the official, you should be thrown out of the game.
Someone's got to grab Carrington and just say, get out of there. Now you're heated up. Now get out.
Carrington threw the ball at one of the Denver Broncos, I believe is Broderick Thompson.
Well, Broderick Thompson said, I got you out of bounds. Big old tackle. And he said, wait a minute. He got mad. But you don't, you know, you just don't get, you're never going to win this battle with the officials. Get out of there. Go cool off someplace else.
So the interception doesn't count. So Carrington, all that work for naught. And maybe out of the game, too.
Unsportsmanlike conduct.
Offside on the defense. After the play was over, we had unsportsmanlike conduct on number 21 on the Raiders, throwing the ball into the face of number 76.
Got everything in there. That was nice.
And Carrington stays in the game.
Well, he didn't hit the official. He just threw the ball at Broderick Thompson. What? That's it.
Well, that's a penalty of frustration for the Raiders, who, even when you get the interception, and he knew all along that probably wouldn't count.
And that's a 15-yarder tacked on to the 5.
So it's a 20-yard walk-off to the 35 of the Raiders. So they're going to hit the century mark with 7 more penalty yards. And speaking of penalties, the Raiders and penalties have gone hand in glove. Top 3 in the league since 91 and leading in 93 and 94. And dropped all the way down to 2nd last year. And look like they'll get the title again this.
I'm going to tell you one thing. They've got to pull these guys aside, take a timeout, control this team. I mean, this team is now out of control. Nothing's going right for them offensively. Nothing's going right on the defense. They've got to settle these guys down. The score is, 21-3. But it's only in the 2nd quarter of this football game with 8 minutes to go in the quarter. I mean, I don't know about beating Denver in Denver, but you've got to do something to control this team. It's out of control right now.
Well, the last thing the Raiders wanted today was to fall behind here in this stadium with John Elway at quarterback. So everything they didn't want to happen has happened.
Yeah, so much at stake for the Raiders, who have battled hard to recover from a 1-4 start. And felt that wins today and then against San Diego, or check that, Seattle next week, Denver will play San Diego, that they could get in the playoffs and would be very tough indeed. No one would argue with that. But they've been tough on themselves the first half today as Elway goes deep for Anthony Miller. Incomplete. Nice coverage by Terry McDaniel.
Well, Paul, you talk about they got to settle down and get back in the game. And one of the ways they're going to get back is to take chances. And, of course, when you're playing an offense or a defense like the Broncos have, when you start taking chances, the game can get away from you fast. And right there was a good example. Blitzing everybody. You're letting John Elway throw it down the field on one-on-one situations. Sooner or later, you're going to get burned.
Meanwhile, Shannon Sharpe has returned and is on the line of scrimmage, lined up at tight end on the left side. And Dwayne Carswell in motion, the other tight end. Elway, the quick hit to McCaffrey. He fumbles, and the Raiders have it. This one does. Nope, he says he's down, and they don't have it. And that's just more salt in the wound for Oakland. Carl Kidd making a good tackle to force the ball free, and Carrington scooping it up.
Well, it's Eddie McCaffrey against Carl Kidd.
That's a fumble.
And it's a fumble. Carl Kidd reaches around with his left hand, trying to pull it out the whole time. Again, Elway one-on-one.
See, that ball comes out before his legs, McCaffrey's legs hit the ground. That's a fumble.
Bad break for the Raiders, who need one. 3rd and 1. Davis stopped cold as Mike Jones, the Raiders' leading tackler this year, number 52 from Missouri, makes the tackle shy of the 25. So it'll be 4th down and less than a yard.
You know, if you want to put a team away, this is no time to kick a field goal. I mean, you want points on the board, but if you break their backs on a 4th down play and pick up the 1st down and go in to score a touchdown instead of a field goal, that puts it 28-3.
Based on the yard markers, if the Broncos hit the 25, it's a 1st down. The ball spotted at the 26. As you look at 4th down conversions this year, unlike the New England Patriots, only 9 4th down tries by Denver. Bill Parcells, he might do that in a couple of games. We'll take a break.
Elbow of the Raiders. At first they thought his shoulder was separated, his left elbow. Now they feel as though it's not separated, and Harvey Williams wants very desperately to come back into the game, so they're going to give him a try the next series. But it doesn't look as though he can be very effective just based on the pain on his face over here on the sideline. Dick?
All right, Jim, 4th and a yard. Elway rechecks the defense.
Can't call him more time.
And on the sneak, he barges forward right to the fake to Davis. Elway dumps it off underneath to Chamberlain. And the tight end is to the 12-yard line.
Did you see what Chamberlain and Elway just did? I'm going to tell you something. That's confidence in your player. Chamberlain comes out and gets knocked to the ground. Elway sees him on the ground, but he sees him getting up. As he was getting up, he throws the ball to Chamberlain.
He anticipated it.
Right. Chamberlain, see him, he's on the ground and left of the screen. Here he is down. Elway throws to him, he gets back up and picks up the 1st down. That's outstanding.
Byron Chamberlain having a career game. He had only 4 catches all year. This is his 3rd today.
Look at that. Down on the ground, back up. He knows it. As long as Elway has the ball in his hand, keep moving.
Davis to the 10. Davis, who didn't make an all-star lineup throughout his collegiate career, that started at Cal State Long Beach and finished at the University of Georgia, and now in his 2nd season in the NFL goes to the Pro Bowl. Last year, solid season, averaging 80 yards a game, and this year over 100, 12 touchdowns, the leader in the NFL.
Hey, Paul, what do you think Terrell Davis does every single day during lunch break with the Denver Broncos? 1 hour, what's he doing that hour?
Sleep.
That's right. Goes to the training table, lays down, gets him a nap.
Elway, incomplete for Shannon Sharp.
We've told a story once before about Terrell, but his hobby is sleeping. I mean, last year it was 12 hours a day. This year he's cut it down to 10. But I think the interesting thing was they were talking about naps, and Phil Simms said a few weeks ago, I love the power nap. Terrell said, so do I. And Phil said, well, what do you consider a power nap? He says, 2-3 hours.
2 or 3 hours, that's right. Reggie Rivers, one of his buddies on the team, he says, every time I call him on the phone, he picks it up and he's all groggy. Oh. He says, you been sleeping? He goes, oh, I was just resting.
Oh, wide awake on the field.
Boy, is he ever.
In motion. On 3rd down, Elway. Incomplete. Closest was Byron Chamberlain. Sharp was curled up and Chamberlain into the end zone. So on comes the field goal unit for Shanahan. Well, they got 2 touchdowns out of the 2 interceptions, and now they go for 3 off the Harvey Williams fumble.
Well, they got the matchup they won. Shannon Sharp on Greg Beaker, but watch the ball coming. Shannon Sharp never sees it. It's a whip. And I think what happened is the Raiders raised their arms. He couldn't see the ball fast enough.
Jason Elam from 28 yards, and it's a 24-3 Bronco lead.
Parcells back on the sidelines.
Yeah, but you know, think about it. He's going to the Meadowlands, and he's mentioned for both jobs.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going there with New England, and then he's mentioned for the Giant job and the Jet job and every other job that's out there.
And the Patriots job, so he's all three.
Yeah, he's got all three working for him.
That increases your chances to get one.
So we want you to stay tuned to see who he talks to during the course of the game.
Now, that's a big game for the Patriots. They can win next week against the Giants and secure the #2 seed, which means a week off in a first-round playoff game at home, which I think is key if you ever think you have a chance to get into the Super Bowl.
Now the Patriots losing today at Dallas, all field goals 12-6, but certainly had their chances to beat Dallas. Elam, high spinner. Carl Kidd at the 3. He's across the 25 to the 27-yard line where Dwayne Carswell makes the tackle. Well, the turnover's the key. 3 of them have led to 17 points for the Denver Broncos. It started early. Tyrone Braxton with a spectacular interception that led to this touchdown by Terrell Davis. 7-0 Denver. Then Steve Atwater in the right place as Darrell Hobbs loses the ball. Atwater's interception, and then Elway guns it to Rod Smith. 20-yard touchdown.
Dick, I'm going to tell you, that Braxton interception in that first series of downs set the tempo for this ball game.
Everyone knew the Broncos were serious, and it got the crowd immediately into the game. So trailing by 3 touchdowns, Hostetler underneath to Tim Brown. And Brown having another outstanding year, tackled by Alan Aldridge after 8 yards.
Paul, you're right. It also gave the Broncos some confidence. And you're talking about a 12-2 team, but hey, when you get beat like they did last week in that situation, your confidence can be a little shaken. I think there was, and it made them feel good, got them back in the rhythm of the game.
Brown now over 1,000 yards again. That's 4 straight years. 2nd and short. Ray Crockett is out at corner for Denver. Torrey James has replaced him. Hostetler changing his play. Then throws underneath to Brown. Enough for a first down. A gain of 3. Let's go to Jim.
Dick, Harvey Williams has gone back into the locker room for x-rays. Dr. Albo now tells us they believe it's a mild separation. Harvey wanted to come into the game, but they persuaded him otherwise, and he's back getting some x-rays. Now, Ray Crockett got kicked in the head. He's being examined, and he should be able to return. Dick?
All right, thank you, Jim Gray. First down. Less than 3 left in the half. The Raiders need something to leave this half with a positive note, and Napoleon Kaufman, a good guess to give you something positive, gets about 8 more.
Well, the Raiders going with the no-huddle offense, not really speeding things up too much, but what they're trying to do, change the rhythm in this game, get their offense going, and try to get them back in it.
Dictate that Denver stays with the same personnel. 2nd and 2 again. Oh, Kaufman hit in the backfield by Alfred Williams, who's had such a great season for the Broncos. 13 sacks, 5 forced fumbles.
The gift of long arms. Watch Alfred Williams' left arm. Look at this. One arm, he brings Napoleon Kaufman down.
That'll take it close to the 2-minute timeout. 2:08, 2:07. Hostetler will try to get a play off. May not. He won't. 3rd and 5 at their own 43.
The building is shaken.
Hostetler in trouble. Scrambles. Throws. What a catch by... No, they're going to rule it a trap on Tim Brown. No catch. 4th and 5. Hasselback and Williams harassing the quarterback Hostetler. And
Tim Brown is hurt. Yeah, Tim Brown is hurt. I mean, this was almost a great play. Hostetler knew he couldn't get the first down on his own. Look at this throw inside. It goes through his arms. Just excellent coverage by Atwater outside. Tim Brown right here, he's just trying to get open, do whatever he can. Atwater chucks him, and that's an illegal chuck because that's 5 yards down the field. You can't do that.
Well, that's what upsets the Raiders coaches and players and fans. It seems that they get caught every time, and the other teams aren't penalized for similar actions. Ooh, what a kick by Leo Aragus, who led the World League with a Rhine Fire.
It's the Raiders. I'm going to throw the flag today on them, and they deserve it. I just can't imagine that. And they get called for a lot of penalties. Most of them are deserved, and there's a reason why they're the most penalized team in the league almost every year.
Elway and the Broncos with 1:45 left in the half from the 7th. And Terrell Davis squeaks through a hole for about 6 yards before Mike Jones.
The rest of it out finally came, but it took him a long time to get the NOW out, so he took a shot to the head, but Paul has trouble spelling it without taking a shot.
I thought if he said S, that was close, wasn't it? How do you spell it? S-N-O, isn't it?
How do you spell fog? For Ray Crockett, trying to gather his senses. As we remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll be sending you to our New York country, and divisions are more clarified. That's coming up at halftime.
You see Chester McLaughlin take a little nourishment. I mean, everybody must have had the flu sometime in your life. When you got to go out here and move that 300 and some odd pounds around, it's hard to do.
1.5 left before the intermission. 2nd and 5. Davis breaks into the clear for a moment and has the first down at the 23-yard line. Jamie Brown playing for Gary Zimmerman at left tackle with a key block, and Davis now has 51 yards on the day.
Well, Jim Gray was telling us earlier there's just no life on the Raider bench, and that play illustrates a lot about the Raiders' state of mind today right now. I mean, you know the Broncos are going to run it. They're trying to run out the clock in the first half. The situation says it, and they still run it up here and get 7 or 8 yards.
But a reminder that the flu has struck Terry McDaniel, Chester McLaughlin, Lance Johnstone, Lyons, Wisniewski, Cunningham, Jenkins, and starting center Barrett. Robbins will not play at all with flu-like symptoms. So they are a weakened team against a very inspired Denver team as time out called by Oakland.
And you just got to go out there and get it done.
2nd down and 9. Raiders have 1 timeout left. Davis. Power runner makes great decisions, and he's out to the 35-yard line. That's 12 more for Davis. The league's leading rusher now has 64 in the first half.
Yeah, but I'll tell you one other thing about that play. Did you see the hole in that line? I mean, that hole was wide.
That takes us down to 15, and that'll be the last.
His offense control the football, and we're just seeing what John Elway brings to this football team. Throwing the ball, the play selection, and just the overall general outlook. They feel good when the quarterback is in there.
Hostetler underneath to Tim Brown, who was shaken late in the first half, but okay. He's to the 26-yard line, and now let's compare the two quarterbacks. Hostetler and Elway, and the Haas really shackled. Only 5 completions for 45 yards and 2 interceptions. One certainly not his fault. Went off the hands of Hobbs, and Elway solid 10 for 17 and a touchdown, 20 yards for Rod Smith.
Well, the Raiders have to find a way to make some big plays in the passing game, something they have been not doing in the last 4 or 5 weeks.
Boy, Kaufman, did he make some moves. Now, what a wonderful contrast. You have Terrell Davis, 1 cut and go. You have Kaufman, who made about 3 moves there and jitterbugged his way to a first down.
Well, I don't think he can help it. He has to make a lot of moves, period. And watch Napoleon Kaufman. He's going to the left. He says, no, I don't like it. And he can just shift gears and get back to the right. And as a secondary person, Steve Atwater, you got to break down and really be careful, because if you make a lunging attempt at him, he'll go right around you.
But first of all, Dick, you got to find him. He's only 5'9", so you have to find him around those massive bodies.
7.8-yard average today after that Monday night destruction of the Kansas City defense. Play action. Hostetler incomplete to Dudley, but he saves the sack, and there's going to be a penalty as Hostetler and Michael Dean Perry got into it after the throw.
Personal foul against Michael Dean Perry on Hostetler, and Michael Dean saying, you know, I didn't mean that. Now, I was trying to hold him up.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 95 on the defense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
I think Michael Dean knows he's hitting the quarterback late. The ball's away, and he takes him. Now, you got to let it go. He throws him down, even though it's not hard, and he goes, oh, I better hold on, just to show it wasn't meant. The intent wasn't there.
Ragdolled him, didn't he?
Well, he doesn't rough up the quarterback, but that is a penalty.
And it takes it all the way to the 49 of the Broncos. You don't want to give the Raiders that opening. I mean, they are explosive enough. 3-touchdown lead is not exactly in the bank.
And their defense is capable of getting you turnovers and making big plays.
Let's see if Ostedler can get him on the scoreboard here. A little short flip with flags down. Harvey Williams back in the lineup after that shoulder injury in the first half. Mobley and Aldridge, the tacklers. And let's check the yellow. Holding against the Broncos. So back-to-back penalties for first downs to Oakland.
Well, we had 9 penalties against Oakland in the first half, 2 against Denver. Now Denver's out here with 2 penalties in a row. And you're right. I mean, and the one thing the Raiders just don't need is a field goal. They need a touchdown. I mean,
number 53 on the defense. It's a 5-yard penalty, first down.
They've got to put 7 up on that board and cut that lead down to 14.
Watch Bill Romanowski, number 53. It's zone coverage. He has to play his area. Had a hold of Darryl Hobbs, had his left hand.
Trying to check the speed of Jett, James Jett, who has not had a catch today. So first down from the Denver 44. Hoffman to the 43, and we go down to the sidelines and Jim Gray.
All right, thank you, Dick. I spoke to Mike White. He said he got after his team at halftime pretty good. He said, guys, we got to play with some enthusiasm. We got to play like we want to win. He said we must have our best half of football in this half. Otherwise, we're done for the year. He also said we got to forget about all the penalties, forget about the officials, and forget about the flu. Just go out and play. Now, as for Mike Shanahan, he told me he warned his group. We still have 30 minutes left to play. Dick?
All right, Jim. Mike Shanahan already, he said, the confusing part of my season is we were so good and got it all done so quickly, I've had to readjust with 3 games left in the year, already having home field for the playoffs secure. Ostedler, lucky he didn't fumble as Bill Romanowski came through untouched.
Boy, I mean, Bill Romanowski comes off that corner, Phil, and nobody, absolutely nobody, touched him.
Well, the Denver Broncos cover all the inside interior linemen. There's nobody to get out there quick enough. Romanowski has speed. Kevin Gogan cannot get there to pick him up. And we've said it so many times about this Denver defense. The one thing they've improved, and you can see it, speed on defense.
Romanowski happy. That smile is genuine. He told us the very first part of the season he's never been on such a good team. No egos. Everyone likes each other here. And he has confirmed that several times since. Ostedler hit from behind as he throws incomplete to Ricky Dudley. Appeared Dudley should have been able to pull that one in. Dan Williams was in on Ostedler.
You know, we talked about Ricky Dudley before, and it just, I really feel bad for the young man because, I mean, he's their #1 draft choice. He just fights the football. I mean, when you look at him here, this ball goes right through his hands. Look at this. I mean, it's like I said something yesterday in trying to be funny. I said, maybe you ought to get this guy some glasses because it looks like he can't judge it.
What he needs is some footballs thrown right at his chest so he can't get those hands up there and get that tension in there, catch it with his body, something to give him confidence and get him to be part of the game.
Well, the Raiders let the play clock run out, delay of game. That'll cost them 5. Gets them just 2 yards away from 100 yards and penalties today.
Dick, don't you like the way that Mike Shanahan, though, handled this week? I mean, Elway and the guys were a little shocked at the way, I mean, how uptight the coaches were. But Mike Shanahan, when I said, hey, wait a minute, we may be 12-2, but after that humiliating loss in Green Bay, we've got to put something back together here.
Yeah, they lose again to the Raiders, he said. And then we go to the last game now, almost desperate to win that one, and then you get the whole week off with a bye. So they came out pointing at Oakland, and of course he admits that gives him certain satisfaction beating the Raiders, the team that fired him. Beautiful kick by Aragoose. Fair catch, ball for by Rod Smith. Fumble! There's the break the Raiders need. Do they get it? No signal yet by the officials. And now it is confirmed that the Raiders have it by 1 official, and coming up with it, Dan Land, number 25. 34-yard punt, the fumble by Smith.
But Rod Smith says he never takes his eyes off the football. Had plenty of time to watch it. And I think what happens is you feel all those defenders around you. He loses his concentration, lets the ball get away from him. He says he never takes his eyes off the ball. And you can see right there, he's looking at it the whole time.
It just bounces in his hands, hits his chest, and bounces away. Great break for the Raiders. Now they've got to do something with it.
First turnover by Denver. First down at the 26. Hostetler hit as he throws, incomplete. Alfred Williams, the sack leader for the Broncos, delivered the hit just as the ball was thrown by Hostetler, incomplete.
Phil, when you take a 3 or 4 step drop, you just can't sit there and wait that long.
Well, that's what happens. This play, you make the fake, you got to look down the field, set, and throw. When you hold on to it for that extra second, hey, these guys can rush the passer well. Alfred Williams, one of the best in the AFC. Watch what happens. He gets that extra half second. It enables him to get to the quarterback.
2nd and 10 from the 26. Early in the third quarter, Oakland trailing Denver by 21. Complete as he drills that one to Dudley, and just exactly what Bill Sims said. Hit him in the chest. You got to catch those.
Well, don't let him get those hands out there and just worry about the football coming. But Ricky Dudley, he has good size. He has good speed. Steve Atwater, watch what he does. He's a big man. Atwater cannot get around him to knock the football down.
Hit him right where he said to hit him, right in the numbers.
Yeah,
I mean, he does. Look where this ball hits him. Right smack in the chest.
7 yards on the play for the former basketball starter at Ohio State, Dudley. He averaged almost 15 a game and 7 rebounds as a senior. He's only played 3 years of football, this being the 3rd. Hostetler underneath. That'll be good for the first down to Darrell Hobbs. And a flag goes down. Maybe another roughing penalty on the Broncos. Atwater.
Yeah, I mean, there's no reason for Steve Atwater to do this.
Penalties on this drive against Denver. Or check that with a fumble. 3 in this quarter. Kaufman can't turn the corner. Alfred Williams. Big hands of the law. Williams from Colorado.
Well, they've run this play a couple times, and Alfred Williams has been blocked down inside. Immediately he sees the pitch. He gets out. Derek Fenner not able to contain him inside, and he makes the play.
Lost back to the 12.
That's the best example of team speed, and that's what Denver did on the offseason. They went out and got some fast people to play defense, and that's one of them.
2nd and goal from the 12.
Yeah. Is that right? You know, you backtrack?
Yeah.
Okay.
3rd and goal. Raiders have made only 1 third down conversion out of 5 attempts today. Batted down. Michael Dean Perry.
He is the shortest member of the defensive line, and he knocks the ball down. But this is a classic example of getting your arm up. You get as far as you're going to go, and Michael Dean puts that left arm up and knocks the ball down.
The Raiders love to throw the ball over the middle and short on 3rd down. Defensive linemen, get your hands up in those situations. And Michael Dean, excellent job of getting that arm up and knocking it down.
Cole Ford kicked a field goal in the first half, 38 yards. This one from 30. Down by 3 touchdowns. Flag fly against Tampa Bay. Set up the short field goal by Ford, and he missed it. And then in overtime, the Buccaneers won. One of the many tough losses by this Oakland team. No one has suffered more close defeats in the league than the Oakland Raiders. Now from 35 yards. No good. Yeah, he lined it through. That ball was not more than 12 feet off the turf all the way. A line drive.
That makes any difference how they get through. You know, it only still says 3 on the board.
Well, watch the holder, Leo Goose, hold it, and Cole Ford says, heck, I got to kick it. There's nothing else I can do. And he gets very lucky and fortunate it goes through.
It's almost hit the players in the head. Watch how low this thing comes out of there.
24-6 Denver.
Yeah.
He's got enough. I love what he told Philly. He said, how do you color that? He said, I just use shoe polish.
He goes, if I'd known you guys were coming, I'd have polished my hair up this week.
Through the S-Zone, Cole Ford's kickoff. It'll be Denver at the 20, but first we go to New York. However, slim for some, including the Raiders, as John Elway goes to work from the 20-yard line. Davis looking for another 100-yard game, but it's Elway to throw. Plenty of time. Guns it to his tight end, Dwayne Carswell. Actually, no gain.
You know, one thing the Denver Broncos love to do, they give defenses a lot of different looks. You know, 5 wide receivers, a couple tight ends, and Mike Shanahan told us why he does that, because when he figures, well, we spend all this time getting ready for all the defenses that teams throw against us. Why don't we do the same thing to them? So during the week, they have to prepare for everything. And we'll show you what we mean here in a second.
Second down 10, no gain. You saw the puzzled look on Elway and Shanahan's face. And this one incomplete. It'll be 3rd and 10 to Chamberlain.
Let's take a look at one simple play the Denver Broncos run. Look, you got 2 wide receivers, 2 tight ends, and 1 running back. And here it is. That's where they want to throw the football. Now you have 2 wide receivers, 1 tight end, 2 running backs. Look at the same play, different personnel. Now you have 5 wide receivers, and look at the 2 wide receivers. For the quarterback and the players, it's the same play, the same read, just a lot of different looks just to confuse the defense.
They don't have any other plays. They only have 1 play.
Well, it works.
You know?
3rd down and 10. Throws complete but short of the first down to Dwayne Carswell. So knowing they're getting double coverage on Shannon Sharp, or a lot of attention, Elway's gone to his other tight ends today, Carswell and Chamberlain, with some success. It was Chamberlain early, and now 4th down.
You know, Dick, when you say here they are, they're down 24-3, and then they kicked the field goal, the Oakland Raiders. You know why? Because of the 2-point play. I mean, they can get back and they can get 2 8 pointers and be tied in the ball game.
Ruined to punt. Tim Brown at the 30.
That's it.
Brown at the 27. Good move. Back to the inside of 45. Solid return for the Raiders, who'll start near midfield, trailing 24-6. Night on NBC, a doubleheader basketball.
You just have to say Michael, huh?
From the 45. Hostetler throws incomplete to Brown. Avoids the sack. 8:06 left in the 3rd. Raiders trying to capitalize on another opportunity after Tim Brown's solid punt return.
Again, it's pretty good pass protection by the Oakland Raiders offensive line. Hostetler can just not find anybody open down the field. And the Broncos do a good job of staying disciplined, staying in their lanes. And when he steps up, they fall off the blocker and make the tackles.
Mike Lodish, the former Buffalo Bill, made the hit. Cross to Hoffman, following Wisniewski's block, gets to the 46-yard line, where it'll be 3rd and 9. Let's go back to Greg in New York. Offensive touchdown for the Bengals.
Dick, I got to correct my arithmetic. You got to remember, I never finished college, so I got to. In a minute, I'm going to correct my 2 8-point games. 2 8 points to get him 16. And 6 22, not 24.
Well, it always threw you off at the Citadel when you marched that hut 2-3. You thought hut was more than 1.
I couldn't get my shoes off fast.
And that's why they do such a good job.
Tim Brown tackled just shy of the first down. It'll be 4th and 1, and Mike White will have to go for it.
Yeah, you're in 4 down. There's just coming up on 7 minutes in the 3rd quarter, but you need 3 scores in this ball game to win it. And, you know, the Raiders are in a position, 4th down and about a half a yard. You really have to go for it. I mean, you're at the other 45-yard line.
And this is always a good thing to do. If it's 3rd or a 4th down coming and it's less than a yard, you know you need about a yard here, but make them measure it if you can. Buy yourself some time and figure out what play you want to call.
And on Hostetler.
Outside. Well, they had movement. And he is a tackle. But he is now a tight end. You can't, once you're set, you can't move. I don't care if you're a tight end or not.
And Alfred Williams immediately charged off the movement, got the 5-yard call, and that changes the entire situation. The punting team comes on. Aragoose, who kicked at Stephen F. Austin.
But can go wrong, has gone wrong.
109 yards in penalties now against the Raiders. Wow. He has got a live leg. Smith lets it go. And it takes a Denver bounce for the touchback. Aragoose limps off.
They're having such a problem with punting. I want to see Billy Joe punt anyway.
Well,
But his bald head.
took a lot of excitement out of this game for us with Billy Joe not punting, but
Here goes Aragoose. I mean, he really gets some height. Watch his height on the ball. Watch his leg extension. And that's where the height comes from. With a T.
height with the T.
T.
Early in the year was height.
I know, but again, I went to the cinema.
6 minutes plus left in the third. Terrell Davis to the 27-yard line. Adds 7 more to the Davis total before Chester McLaughlin can track him down, and Davis is total up to 71. Billy Joe Hobart he likes to save his dollars, and so he gets home haircuts.
But his wife cut his hair, I think.
His wife was cutting his hair, and she cut it a little bit too short, and he said, oh, heck, go ahead and take it all off. So now, Billy Joe has got a dome. There it is. Wow, Billy Joe.
I like that.
Sims wishes he had a head like mine.
Yeah, I need a few knots in mine, Billy.
Away to Davis. Davis has the first down at the 31 if Mike Jones making the tackle. It's going to be called back. Away over the middle. Complete the Carswell at the 20. Gain of 4, so it'll be 3rd and 10. Phil. A low snap, and his good hand save a problem. Now he's hit from behind, fumbles the ball. That's a free ball, and the Raiders have a touchdown. Lance Johnstone's first NFL touchdown as he falls on the fumble created by Pat Swilling.
Well, the Raiders needed a break. Here it is.
Well, you know, they do have the talent on defense to play.
Got to call timeout because the clock.
Tim Brown is explaining to him, you were wrong, and watch Craig Beaker, number 54, takes his helmet off. He's in disgust, too.
Now the 2-point try. Hostetler to throw for it. Going to run it in. Doesn't make it. He's hit hard. Fumbles. But he was ruled down. Alan Aldridge slammed the door on Hostetler. It remains 24-12.
What a reaction from Alan Aldridge. Hostetler drops back to pass. Nobody is open in the end zone. Everybody's covered. It looks like he's going to make it to the end zone. But Alan Aldridge comes flying up and stops him dead in his tracks. And Hostetler, it's fortunate that he's okay.
Well, Lodish really doesn't do the smart thing here. He reaches down to pick up the ball. What he needs to do is just to fall on the ball, because if he's hit, the ball comes out, that goes in the end zone, and it is out. The Raiders get it, unless they call him down here. If that's called down.
Yeah, he was called down.
All right.
So 24-12 as the Raiders come up with the 6 points on the Elway fumble. Still plenty of time. 4:23 left.
For the Raiders today, every time Hostetler drops back to throw the ball, it's hesitation, can't find the person he wants open down the field. Very few times has he dropped back, thrown the ball in rhythm to an open receiver.
I'm just glad we had a chance to say that he hasn't been rushed or hurried at all today, Elway, and then all of a sudden he gets hit by someone going to get a touchdown.
Paul, he really wasn't rushed. He just broke the pocket and because he couldn't see somebody open down the field. And Pat Swilling, you got to commend him. Hustling around the corner makes the play.
3 turnovers by the Raiders in the first half for 17 points. 2 by Denver in the second half for 8 points. 9 points. Von Hebron finds a seam, but a flag is down, and so is Hebron at the 32.
Oh, now they got
Here in this third quarter, really down to walk their offense. Haven't done much. Terrell Davis and Craver behind Elway. A total offense of a -4 yards for Denver in this third quarter. Davis. For 2 to the 33. Greg Beaker made the stop. Beaker, who played at Colorado. Boy, what linebackers they produced recently. Albert Williams, who was a linebacker, and Ted Johnson, New England Patriots, all in the last 5-6 years.
Here it is. Watch here on the bottom. You see Kramer. Watch it. Watch his right arm. He's going to take a. Here's the shot right there in the mouth, and that's where the officials called it.
Surprised they let him stay in the game. Usually that's automatic ejection.
You would think so. I mean, you can't smack a guy in the mouth.
McCaffrey in motion. Under a blitz Elway. That's unloaded and complete to McCaffrey. It'll be 3rd down and long for Denver. Let's go a long way to New York. To fans in the Bay Area. 3rd down and 9. Elway from the shotgun. Fires complete. And it's the 1st down at the 47 to Mike Sherrard. Sherrard's 16th catch of the year.
Phil, I don't care about anything except on defense. You cannot give John Elway this much time to throw the football.
Well, when you give him time, Mike Sherrard on the outside, you could see both Oakland Raider defenders ran to the outside receiver. They leave Mike Sherrard alone. Elway's going to find him when he's that wide open.
Injured player is Eddie Anderson, who struggled through an injury-plagued season. Jim?
Dick, there's some people in the stands who have some whistles. The Denver police are searching through. Even on that play, there was some hesitation by both the Broncos and the Raiders because there are whistles blowing down here, and it's really throwing the players off.
Now, what kind of IQ test does someone pass to think that that's clever?
Well, when you have a whistle out there, you're hurting your own team as well as the other team. So, I mean, there's just no reason to do something that stupid. Spelled with an S.
Eddie Anderson, the hard-hitting safety man, still down. Here's what happened, number 33.
But you can see his head just pop back.
Right into the knee of Sherrard. Anderson, one of the strongest players in the league since he arrived from Fort Valley State. And this year has had a serious triceps arm injury. It's knocked him out of several games, and they're not going to take any chances here. They're going to use the cart to deliver him back to the training room. Worst of concerns, but of recent years, so much of this is a supreme precautionary effort by officials to make sure that damage isn't done in case there is a neck or spinal injury. So much in contrast to the old days where they just haul you off to the field to save a timeout.
Yeah, well, you could when the play happened, he went to make the tackle. His head was up, so he didn't have his head down, but his face hit it, the face mask drove it back, so hopefully it's not serious.
Mike Sherrard, who caught the pass, and
watch as he goes in to make the tackle. You see his head's driven backwards.
Good sign is that he immediately reached for his head. That had it been serious, there would have been no action at all, a reaction.
And you're absolutely right about the precautionary thing. I mean, and it's the smartest thing that they can do. They just do not allow him to move.
His feet and hands are moving. We get a report from the field, so that's we want to get that in right now. I'm sure those watching at home that, while serious, things could be worse. Well, it raises the question, and the NFL NBC pregame dealt with it a few weeks ago, that, what do you do about it? And one of the guys in the studio said, well, what if we did? I think it was Mike Ditka said, what do we go back to taking those big old bird cages off the front of the helmets, and maybe players wouldn't be so free in delivering tackles and blocks using their head as the projectile.
Well, sure, you take the protection off the head, they'll be a lot more, they'll be careful, and it would change the game. But I mean, we know, Dick, that would never happen. They would never go back to that. And I don't know, the way some of these players are nowadays, and as aggressive as they are and how they train, I don't know if it'd slow them up a great deal. They'd learn a different way to hit you and to deliver the blow.
Well, if you look at college football and you watch these guys, the way they're taught to tackle, Dick, they're taught to tackle with their arms around it and get your face in there and make the play. So you look at the guy's belt, and that's the way you're taught to tackle.
That's right.
That's never going to change.
Well, they can teach them proper tackling techniques. That's all you can do, Paul. But the speed of the game, especially at the pro level, the way these guys run, it's hard to tackle them anyway, no matter how you do it. So a lot of times they're forced into positions, hey, the defender doesn't want to be in that position.
Yeah. Well, again, they're going to take all the time necessary, and that doesn't mean one should not infer that the injury then is much more serious because of the time taken. It's just that they're going to be absolutely certain of any move that they make.
It just takes a lot of time to get them secured.
That's right. To get that first, to just slide the stretcher under the injured athlete while supporting all the injured area, and then to strap him carefully. And there you see, moving his hand and finger to let folks know that he's got movement in the upper extremity. So that's good to see. Eddie Anderson
gave you the thumbs up. That'll make everybody in Oakland and his family feel very nice about this.
Just another blow in a day that has seen most of the things go against the Oakland Raiders. Some their own fault. All right, the Broncos, meanwhile, with 3:10 left in the third, have a first down at the 47. Terrell Davis, handoff and immediately tackled by Lance Johnstone. The rookie from Temple was the second-round pick of the Raiders. Their two number ones, first two picks rather, Dudley in the first round and Johnstone in the second round. Both starters now. Reminds you of New England, whose first two picks, pretty good player, Lawyer Malloy in the second round and Terry Glenn in the first round are starters.
And Lance Johnstone, the one thing you see about him, he's not really heavy, but teams have not been able to run the football over him, even though he's a little light.
Drills this to Chamberlain, does Elway, and a flag down as they try to drag the tight end to the turf.
From the fact he doesn't throw it too hard anymore.
Elway off balance, but throws deep. Bobbled and dropped by Chamberlain. Almost a score. Lorenzo Lynch and Darren Carrington covering for the Raiders.
Well, Lorenzo Lynch, the Denver Broncos coming out and using two tight ends. Chamberlain's been splitting out. They've been throwing short patterns. This time they fake the short one and go deep, and he just drops the football. Lorenzo Lynch playing the short pass, gets fooled, and is just trying to catch up, and Chamberlain goes right through his arms.
That's a perfect pass. I mean, that's one you have to catch.
Chamberlain also was a member of that line fire in the World League earlier this year. As you see the distribution to tight ends, and Sharp surprisingly is man. Here's the throwback to Elway, and the long one to Smith. Got away with the push off. It's a touchdown. No, now they say he did not maintain control as Carl Kidd came out of there with it.
I'll tell you what, there was some banging and holding and shoving by both guys. Now the question is, who did they get first?
Well, it's a pretty good fake. Snap it to Terrell Davis. The flea flicker, Elway. The Raider defense is just not fooled. Carl Kidd stays with his man, Rod Smith, the whole time.
See if Smith does a little push-off here.
Well,
not really.
Carl Kidd had his arm on the receiver, too.
That was a good effort by Kidd to rip it away.
And the flag is still on the field, so maybe it was...
But I don't know if that's a flag or
It must not be.
Swelling, can't bring down Elway. It's deflected and intercepted and dropped. They're going to rule it interception and fumble. Yes. And Kidd comes up with it.
Boy, here was a situation I think that Elway could have run with the ball. It might have, I don't know if he'd have picked up the first down or not, but it would have been a lot better than throwing the interception.
Well, first off, he steps up in the pocket, does a good job, but I don't know if this ball is ever caught for the interception. It goes off of Carswell's hand. Carl Kidd does not get his second foot on the ground. It's knocked out of his hands. Before that, that should have been Should not be an interception.
See, John's upset with himself because he knows that I probably should have run with the football. I had room to run and didn't do it.
Well, he said he wasn't sure of the hamstring. He hasn't sprinted in 5 weeks. He said he's run, but not sprinted. So at the 21, the Raiders get a big break, trailing 24-12. And this third quarter has been eternal, 142. Penalty of the game, 119 yards. Complete to Darrell Hobbs and a first down at the 32.
You know, we're talking about Elway not running that play. We asked Mike Shanahan about Elway running with the football, and he said, well, I'll tell you, if he's going to pull it again, I'd rather have him pull it in this game than somewhere else along the line where he has time to heal again. So he said he looks like he's about 95%, and he will run if he has to.
So Elway fumbles for a touchdown, but recovered in the end zone by Johnstone, and now the interception to stop the drive. First down, Hostetler under pressure. Almost took it out of his hands. Now incomplete with another flag down.
I mean, they're going to see it.
It's easy to see.
They've got to be flirting with an NFL record. 15 penalties, 130 yards. Harvey Williams on the draw, and it's a good call. Picks up the 10 on the penalty, plus a couple more. It'll be second down and about 8 as we come down to the final minute of the third.
You think about how important this game is for Oakland. You know, Harvey Williams is talking about maybe a slight shoulder separation. Here he is back in the ball game.
Well, and then just a second ago, I saw John Elway sprint to the locker room, and Bill Musgrave is down on the sideline warming up.
Second down and 9. Williams averaging 20 yards plus per carry today. They show blitz, they come. Juggled by Hobbs, incomplete. Now let's go to New York. Fumbled by the Raiders and losing again today at home. It's 3rd and 9. Alfred Williams way off the block. 3rd and 14. 2-1. He just does get it off before the violation. Into the flat to the tight end Dudley to the 35, far short of the first down. 8 yards on the play, and that'll be the final play of the third period. We'll try to claw back into it in the third. Almost blocked. Aragoose to Rod Smith. And Smith knocked out of bounds at the 26-yard line. We'll take this time out. That was 15.
Trucks on the road. By KFC, for everything a meal should be, everybody needs a little KFC. And by American Express. Help support the American Express Charge Against Hunger program.
The Raiders' Eddie Anderson has been taken by ambulance to Denver Swedish Hospital. It's a neck injury. They put his head in a halo. The doctors for the Raiders, as well as the team physicians here in Denver, don't want to speculate just exactly what it is. He was moving both his hands and his feet. When he got into the ambulance, he pointed up to all the Denver fans who were cheering outside the stands. So we really don't know the full extent of his injury, but he has been taken to the hospital. Dick?
That's good news. And Anthony Miller with that quick slant. Elway hits him on the numbers. 21-yard gain out to the 48 before Beaker can make the stop.
Well, it's hard for Terry McDaniel, who likes to watch the quarterback. Look at him here. It's a play-action fake. He cannot react fast enough to that throw by John Elway, and Anthony Miller. Good job of catching and getting yards after the catch.
But the defense is all bunched in, figuring they're going to run the football with Terrell Davis, and Elway just pops up and throws one.
And ooh, what a hit by Greg Biekert. Boy, Biekert, a 7th-round pick in '93, and he's developed as really an outstanding backer.
Well, Mike Shanahan, number 54, Greg Biekert, says he is as tough a football player as that there is, and he's had an outstanding year. Does a good job just reading the whole play, and boy, he likes that kind of shot in the running back.
It's one of those things Terrell Davis wishes he had that one cut.
Yeah, that's right.
Took 3 cuts and got cut himself.
A loss of a yard on the play. He's all the way to the 43, near a first down before Lorenzo Lynch can get him down. 10 yards on the run.
This is probably the one running play that really signifies this Raider. Watch Brian Habib, number 75. The inside trap he pulls out, sees a defender, it opens up the big hole for Aaron Craver.
You know, the thing that happened is, first of all, you're worried about Terrell Davis, Dick. Then you worry about Elway throwing the football because now it's second down.
By having two back there. And look at the yards per run by all the Denver runners.
Second best in the league to Oakland. Both Oakland just a bit better, a higher 4.7. Means that you run it twice, and on third down you're looking at third in the yard and a half.
Well, that's why the Denver Broncos are the best team in the NFL picking up third down conversions, and the fact that they keep it short and they can run the ball so well.
Here's a case in point, third and less than a yard. Terrell Davis diving for the first down. Didn't need much, didn't get much, but it's enough.
But all he had to do was get to the
1,500-yard mark. They pick up the blitz, and what a strike to Miller at the 31. That Elway, how many times has he just hit it between the two numbers?
Well, this is the classic example. What you're talking about, Terry Daniel. Now watch what he does here. On the Terry McDaniel on this play here, he goes for the Elway, the first cock of his arm, and he looks in the backfield, and then Miller gets by him.
That's right. He was perfect backfield, and he gets caught, and John Elway, you can see the strength of his arm and the accuracy. That is the big thing that's really happened in the last couple years. 28 passing yards for 45,000. But he's so much more accurate now throwing the football than he was early in his career.
Only Dan Marino and Franz Harkinson with more yardage passing. Davis to the 28-yard line, a pickup of about 3. McLaughlin, flu-ridden, but still in there battling, makes the tackle.
Hey, one thing about this Raider team, though, they did not give up. I mean, they were down 24-3 at one point in this ball game. It's not 24-12, but they just didn't quit.
Well, the defense tried to get them back in the game, scored a touchdown, got the ball back to the Raider offense on the 45-yard line. They could not do anything with it.
Confusion here, and you saw Aaron Craver chase and Jets, and the Oilers Ravens complete our schedule. And off to Craver. Bowls his way inside the 25. Bring up third down and about 2.5. Rob Holmberg made that tackle.
You know, I was looking at the defense. Now, Albert Lewis goes to McCaffrey's side all the time, and Terry McDaniel goes over on Anthony Miller. I mean, they just switched. We had Albert Lewis on this corner playing on McCaffrey. Here they come out. Now they're both coming out again. So here,
McDaniel's on the near side. Third down 3. Elway, quick throw to McCaffrey, and it's a first down inside the 20. Tackled by Lewis. We go to New York.
I like that. Thanks, Greg.
10 minutes remain. Another first down for Elway and the Broncos. It chews up time, moves them closer to more points as Davis takes the inside handoff to the 15-yard line. Well, the Denver Bronco offensive line had a media moratorium. They just this year decided they wouldn't talk to anyone, and then they've got the kangaroo court, and they punish any offensive lineman that accepts a game ball. That's
really. Gary Zimmerman got one of those.
And the head coach to publicly praise an offensive lineman, that's at least 200 bills.
God forbid.
What else we got?
Well, the line coach, Alex Gibbs, had surgery on Friday, scoped his knee, and he coached on Sunday. They said, that's a prima donna fine. You thought you were doing something really special there.
And even if you talk to the media, that was $10 or maybe more. And the other penalty was that if we fine you and then you get too sensitive,
yes.
Another fine.
They're looking at Chester McLaughlin. He got hurt on this last play. But the other thing about this, all this fine money, which to me is absolutely amazing. All of this fine money goes to the offensive linemen.
Right.
And they have a party at the end of the year. Only for the offensive linemen.
They have to spend it all.
They have to spend it all. But I'm thinking about, and that's why Mark Schlereth says, that's why we're so smart. Those dummies are paying us fines, and we're using it to go to dinner.
It's a great way to have a party. Spend somebody else's money. I mean, that's the best way.
You saw Gary Zimmerman, who had shoulder surgery about 10, 11 days ago, missed last week and not playing today, but will suit up, and they'd like to get him into 20-25 plays next week in the finale. And Zimmerman, another Pro Bowl year, his 7th. 2nd and 8. Davis looked like a face mask, but from this angle looked as if he...
There is no fall.
Yeah.
He grabbed the shoulder pad. There is no fall.
Charles Stewart, the line judge, number 62, saw there wasn't a face mask and waved it off.
And we welcome those of you that have seen the Bengals defeat the Houston Oilers 21-13. Dick Enberg with Paul McGuire, Phil Simms, and Jim Gray here at Mile High Stadium, where the Denver Broncos have led throughout. 24-3 at the intermission, now 24-12, and the last play. At first, a penalty flag flew. Looked as if this was face mask, but it was McDaniel by the jersey. A legal tackle. Elway. Flag down. Throws to Chamberlain. Chamberlain's in the end zone. Does it count? Byron Chamberlain, who had only 4 catches all season, has his 4th today.
Well, Pat Swilling says it's coming back because there was a holding penalty.
Gets the hand immediately to Chester McLaughlin's face mask. The referee sees it.
22nd penalty of this game. 15 of those on the Raiders. 135 yards and penalties against Oakland. That's been part of their demise. 66 from Denver. Most of those in the second half. And off to Davis. Read by the Raider defense. That'll bring up 4th down, and on Houston, Elam lines one wide to the left. No good. 8:02 left, and the Kansas City now both 9-6. A huge victory for Indy. Gives them the head-to-head against KC. Here it's 24-12. Raiders with 8 minutes left in the 4th. Game very long. We had a serious injury, Eddie Anderson, plus a lot of passes and penalties. Now let's go to New York. Victory by the Colts certainly straightens out the playoff picture. Tim Brown, a rare muff. Wide open. Brown at midfield, unable to pull it in. Well, for those of you who have joined us late, here's how it all started. Tyrone Braxton's 9th interception of the year early in the game set the first half tone for the Broncos, who built a 24-3 lead. This touchdown to Rod Smith. In the second half, the only touchdown for the Raiders, Pat Swilling stripping Elway. The fumble recovered by Lance Johnstone in the end zone. Raiders missed on the 2-point attempt, so it's 24-12. 7:24 left. 3rd and 5 for Hostetler. On top, way over Darrell Hobbs, but he was being held by Lionel Washington. Flags fly. Jumpy Geathers pressured Hostetler. 100 yards total. Not a surprise, these two rivals in the AFC West. Underneath, Napoleon Kaufman breaking one tackle, almost another shoestring by Alan Aldridge across the 40-yard line.
Well, that's what the Raiders have to hope for. Throw a short pass, and one of these guys can take it and make a big play out of it, because we have seen they are reluctant to throw the football down the field and try to make big plays. So give it to Napoleon, see if he can catch a short one and make a big play out of it.
Kaufman out. They get it straightened out with 6:51 left. A Raider touchdown could make this very testy in the finish. Raiders need a win to stay alive, as you've heard Greg. Hostetler can't find an open man. Throws it away. No penalty. He did have Ricky Dudley close.
Jumpy Geathers thinks he has a sack. He said, I had him going down. There's no such thing anymore as in the grasp, is there? Big number 79, Jumpy Geathers. He just rocks him back, and he gets away from Wisniewski. And look at that play. That's total hustle.
Geathers at 36, still playing like a kid. 3rd and 4.
Problem is that the Raiders, even if they do score, they have no more timeouts. They used them all in the 3rd quarter.
Here they come. Ball out blitz. Atwater, but a good throw to Darrell Hobbs on a 1st down and a flag down in the Denver secondary. Lionel Washington made the tackle. What a big sellout crowd. 76,000 trying to create noise for Hostetler to battle. Throws underneath to Tim Brown, who makes a shoe top catch with Ray Crockett right on his back. 7 yards on the play. Hurry up for Oakland. Again, they used all their timeouts in the 3rd quarter, so they don't have the luxury of stopping the clock. returns as the sole running back. Up here comes
Kennedy from Atlanta for an unconditional pick this year.
Haas goes long, but no one's there.
Well, Tim Brown pulled it up short, and Haas wanted to go deep, and that would be the first really deep pass he's thrown since Crockett picked off his first one.
Well, they tried to get Tim Brown on a double move. He's going to try to curl it, draw the defender in, then go deep. But the Broncos are pretty smart. Tim Brown, top of your screen. Lionel Washington, he knows the situation of the game. Not going to overcommit. It doesn't hurt to give up a 10-yard pass right now. Don't give up a touchdown in one throw.
Well, you knew he didn't have to commit because he had Atwater short, number 27, so there's no reason for him to commit up to the play.
Plus, he's an ex-Raider, and he's worked against Brown in practice many times. Another blitz. Romanowski picked off, and Darryl Haas able to hang on to the 38-yard line. That'll be a first down, 8 yards on the play.
You know, we talk about guys sacrificing their bodies in this game, and Bill Romanowski is a classic example of it. Number 53, watch this. He tried to jump up over top of Harvey Williams, but he gets caught.
If you're going to blitz, the one thing you have to do in the secondary is once that ball is completed, you better make the tackles to keep the Raiders from having a long game.
Under 5 minutes, so anything out of bounds now will stop the clock for the Raiders. Into the flat. Bachman takes it inside. Uses his speed to the 25 and another first down. Romanowski trails him and makes the stop.
4:18 left.
Hostetler battling the noise. And another false start.
Yeah, this time.
Helmets at a mic. Yeah. So that at least you know at the snap you can hear the snap.
Well, they tried that. They've experimented with it. Once you get inside the 20-yard line, coming in or going out, they amplify the quarterback's voice with speakers on the side. But so many problems with that. With airplanes going over, interference, so they dumped that thought.
Hostetler going long for Jet. And a flag down as they get entangled. And that'll be against Randy Hilliard of the Broncos. Curry ball at fullback. Derek Fenner, the tailback. Fake to Fenner. Wide open is Glover. Drops the ball. No, Dudley. Ricky Dudley, the rookie, drops another. Oh,
You got to look the ball in, son. I mean, you got to look it all the way.
Watch Ricky Dudley as he's trying to catch the ball, Paul. He puts his hands out way too early. And watch the tension as he sees it coming. You can just know all the thoughts that are going through his head, and none of them are good.
I mean, he fights this thing all the way. You look at him, and his hands go together. You just look at Huston. How many times he got to throw? There was one game that this guy caught 4 and dropped 4.
Well, he's caught 3 and dropped 3 today. Take to Fenner again. Hostetler in trouble. Incomplete as he throws it to the goal line. Jerry Ball was the receiver.
See, one of the things if you're wondering, you say, wait a minute, they're on the 2-yard line. Why don't they run the ball? If they don't make it, the clock keeps going because they can't stop the clock. They have no more timeouts.
Well, they try basically the same play again, and Ricky Dudley is wide open in the back of the end zone. I don't know if Hostetler had time, but watch Ricky Dudley to the top of your screen. He's going to go in the back. Denver's full. Look at the separation.
Yeah, but Hostetler had somebody in his face.
Derek Fenner sent out as a wing. Harvey Williams with him. Underneath to Glover. Flag down, and Glover is nailed short of the goal line.
Well, this will be a penalty against the Raiders for illegal motion again by the
play.
by the tight
False
end.
start. Number 87 on the offense. Moving prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
Well, that'd be a break for the Raiders. It would be 4th and goal. Now they get another play. 3rd down and goal.
But the thing about it is the defensive ends, what they're doing is they're faking like they're coming across the line of scrimmage. They're not moving at all. They're just moving arm movements. And Glover is standing there as a tight end, and he just moves.
Well, watch 87.
All right, but watch this. Watch the movement in here, Phil.
Yep,
You see what he does? Alfred Williams just moves, and then Glover moves with him. He's not coming across.
The 20th penalty for the Raiders, 2 from the NFL record set in 1944. 157 yards. But this one gives them an extra play. Hostetler. How does he the catch, and the Raiders are very much into it. Hostetler hit twice in the backfield, able to escape and throw to Darryl Hobbs for the touchdown.
You're right, Dick. How did he get out of it? I mean, twice. I thought the play was over. Watch what happens. Pressure in his face. He gets away from the first tackler, Michael Dean. Sheds another one off balance and whips it into the back of the end zone. And puts the ball right on the money.
No sense in going for two. That does nothing for the Raiders. They'll try the extra point. They make it 24-19.
The onside kick.
With 3:38 left, they have no choice. Broncos can almost kneel it down and finish this one up. Ford adds the extra point, 24-19.
That was a great individual effort by Jeff Hostetler. I mean, he had Michael Dean yard line. They're lined up like a regular kick. They can't afford to kick this off, and they're going to do it.
They do kick it away. And then it kicks through the end zone to the 20, so no time consumed. 3:33 left in the fourth.
Should be a little, if they stop them in 3 downs, they can have over a minute, and I guess they're willing to take that chance.
Remember on Monday night they punted when they thought they could stop them again, and they didn't?
And the Broncos got the 1 first down and ran out the clock. Terrell Davis, the league's leading rusher, dumped in the backfield, a loss of 2.
Well, if they do stop them down here, you got to think a punt. The Raiders.
Davis, the lone running back behind Elway. You saw the Broncos shut out in the second half. Elway throwing the ball to Chamberlain, who has a career best 1,000-yard mark to become the 3rd in history to do that. Elway going to throw, or is he going to run? He's going to eat it at the 26. Clock runs, and that'll take it to the 2-minute warning, but it will also bring the punting team on for Denver. The Raiders will have a full 2 minutes with which to try to drive to a winning touchdown to stay alive. Touchdown throw apparently was injured, and Billy Joe Hobart has stripped off his warm-up jacket, and the young man from the University of Washington, apparently the destiny of the Raiders for the playoffs will rest in his young hands as Tom Ruin to punt. Tim Brown at the Raider 34. He hit a short one. Brown, fair catch at the 41-yard line. The Oakland Raiders are 59 yards away from a touchdown that would keep their playoff hopes alive. And Billy Joe Hobart, the colorful young quarterback who has seen some duty this year for the injured Hostetler, has thrown 4 touchdown passes, and Phil Simms, in many eyes, defenders' eyes, Hobart is more of a threat for the big bomb.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. One thing he will do is throw it down the field.
Hit it high and let it fly.
That's what he likes. He's got a strong arm.
No timeouts, 1:52 left. They're blitzing. And he's throwing. Incomplete. Dudley again. How many will he drop? This, you have to feel for this young man who is young in terms of football years. Basketball was his sport.
Watch his hands, folks. Just watch his hands. He fights every single pass that comes to him. Look, don't look at anything else. Look at his hands. Watch his hands. Look at him fight it.
Trying to catch a butterfly with your bare hands.
They took him out of the ball game.
4 drops, 3 catches for Dudley today. Hobart, no blitz this time. Guns it, complete at the 48 of the Broncos. First down. Tim Brown, the reliable wideout, 12 yards on the catch.
Nice throw by Billy Joe Hobart. Throws it down and away from the receiver where only Tim Brown could make the catch.
His 85th catch of the year, among the leaders the last 4 years. He's over 1,000 yards again. Clock running, 1:20. Intercepted! Ray Crockett! Hobart to beat. Hobart makes the tackle, but that'll be too late for Oakland. 1:11 left, and Ray Crockett stuns the Raiders sideline.
Ray Crockett watched Billy Joe Hobart the whole way, Phil, and just looked at him, watched him. He looked at the man he was going to throw the ball to, stepped in front, and then took it.
Third interception of the day for the Bronco defense. The fourth turnover, the first in this second half for Denver. And that takes a lot of nerves out of these Bronco fans. They were starting to feel it. Terrific play.
Well, Ray Crockett does the right thing. Be aggressive on a short pattern. You're in a zone defense. He just looked at the quarterback. When he looked outside, he was breaking all the way for the interception.
Jim?
Dick, Jeff Hostetler suffered a concussion on that touchdown that closed the gap to 5 points. He really wanted to come in the game quite badly, but the doctors would not let him in. He has a concussion, and he is through for the day.
Now here's the player. Right here, they fall on him, actually. He throws the ball, he goes down, and I don't know where he gets hit in the head. I would think it's something happened to his leg. They know better than we do.
One kneel down for Elway, and that'll do it. They don't have to run another play. The Broncos sweep their home schedule. 8-0 for Mike Shanahan's team. Best record in football at 13-2. They hold off the Raiders' second half surge and a 24-19 win. John Elway returned. His presence felt in remarkable ways in the first half, although he struggled in the second half. Hostetler positioned his team close, but a final
out. Jason Elam to kick out to Andre Coleman. Coleman from the 4. And gets it back to the 20-yard line. For the Charger offense, Stan Humphries needs only one more touchdown pass to set a career high, even though he's missed 3 starts. Tony Martin going to his first Pro Bowl. He has 81 receptions for over 1,100 yards and has tied the club record with 14 touchdown catches. On the offensive line, injuries have been a problem, but Tony Bertie is a bright spot. Bobby Ross says the second-year man has really started to develop at right tackle. Freddie Bradley, the starting running back. He's the deep man in the eye. Humphries airing it out on first down, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Lionel Washington. The 14-year veteran has the 35th of his career, and Stan Humphries is really hot.
The only thing that could be, Mike, is a broken route. He was trying to throw to the inside. It looked like Tony Martin went on the outside. And I'll tell you, once that ball's out of your hands, there's nothing you can do as a quarterback. This is from the goalpost cam. He sets now. He's throwing his thing right where he wants to throw it. Martin just runs outside instead of taking it to the post. Tony Martin just sort of cruising out there.
First play and a turnover. Davis and Craver, the split backs. Elway with good protection, throws and incomplete out of the hands of Davis. Denver's offense led by Elway, number 3 all-time in passing yards, now number 1 in NFL history with 126 wins as a starting QB. Terrell Davis, the NFL's leading rusher. Tonight he'll try to pad his 139-yard lead over Barry Sanders, who finishes his season tomorrow night. And up front, Gary Zimmerman, voted to his 7th Pro Bowl, back after missing 2 weeks with shoulder surgery. Davis hit before he got back to the line of scrimmage and stopped by Ray Lee Johnson. San Diego's defense missing 3 of its top 5 linemen. Marco Coleman, who leads the front 4 in tackles, one of only 2 starters not injured. Junior Seau is everything to the Charger defense. Number 1 in tackles, number 1 in sacks, going to his 6th straight Pro Bowl. And Rodney Harrison moved from free to strong safety and has become a key member of the secondary. He leads the club with 4 interceptions. 3rd and 12 for the Broncos. Elway goes to the gun. Straight four-man rush and too high from McCaffrey at the 25. Coverage by Darian Gordon. So 3 and out for Denver after the interception.
Michael, you could see when John tried to release that ball, it comes out funny. It's actually almost going to squirt out of his hand a little bit. The field is real thin, and once you get the ball from the center, it's hard to grip it. It just sort of squirts out instead of coming out with a normal release.
Zimmerman did a nice job blocking the blitzing Junior Seau, and here is Jason Elam with a 76.9%, but that is under his career average. This will be from 51 yards. It would be his long of the season. Got the distance and down the pipe. So Denver gets 3 out of the interception as Elam hits from 51 yards. We're in San Diego where the Broncos with a quick 3-0 lead. They have -2 yards in offense, but they have 3 points as a result of Lionel Washington's interception. Elam to kick again to Coleman. Back to the 1-yard line. And down at the 12. There's also a marker down on the play as Reggie Rivers with a nice job on specialty. 24. And Tyrone Braxton tied for the NFL lead with 9 interceptions. Somehow he is not going to the Pro Bowl. Alfred Williams, it's amazing what home cooking will do for you. He played at Colorado, desperately wanted to come back here, and having by far his finest season. Now San Diego has to start from the 6-yard line after the big mistake the last time they had the ball. Bradley cuts it outside. The young man from Sonoma State has about 10. Alan Aldridge, the middle linebacker, made the stop.
Mike, what you basically have is you have a fairly quick Denver defense that really runs from sideline to sideline well. And you've got a big offensive line of the Chargers. Now, they're just going to try and get on the corner and let Freddie Bradley use his speed. They do a nice job of sealing, and then he does a good job of doing some hard running once he gets outside.
Freddie Bradley, a 7th-round draft choice this year. The running game has not worked out the way the Chargers had hoped. Bradley showing a little power. Will pick up a couple to the 28-yard line. When they let Natron Means go a year ago, it was going to be Aaron Hayden and Terrell Fletcher who were going to do the job at running back. Neither has done it, although